And if you're watching this video, it's because you're a guy and you're potentially looking at getting divorced. And I want to talk to you just briefly about what's really going on with this bias against men in the divorce process. And it's just endemic, it's part of the system. It's not necessarily malicious, but it just is what it is. And I want you to think about it for a second, right? And in your marriage, you probably found that women do certain things when it comes to kids, right? Women tend to be considered the caregivers. Women tend to be considered the ones that are the nurturers, whereas guys tend to be a little bit more kind of off in the background. They tend to be more like the disciplinarians. And that's just the reality of the way people think and the way that people have traditionally perceived roles inside the marriage when it comes to raising kids. And so what we do find is this, right? We find that in a divorce process, a woman can go to the court and she can say, listen, I want to have the kids 80 or 90 or 100% of the time, and nobody's really blinking an eye. But if a man says, listen, I want to have my children 80 or 90 or 100% of the time, people roll over, people fall out of their chair. It's a real thing, and it's not necessarily based on what reality is, it's just what people's perceptions are. And think about it from the economic point of view. Traditionally, men have been the breadwinners. Traditionally, women in America have stayed home and they've helped raise the kids. And I know that the world is changing, and you know the world is changing, and now we know that we often see two people that are making money in the family, and they're both providing for the family. But judges are old, and the system it's old, and we are just seeing that bias still exists. So if you're a man, you have to recognize that there might be a bias in the system to you continuing to work and work lots of hours, and to maybe the woman staying home with the kids more. And that can mean, if you don't do anything about it, it can mean that you end up having your children less than you should have otherwise. And if you don't do anything about it, it can mean that you're paying more money for support than you should be paying, or you're giving more assets to your spouse than you should be. It's what we're dealing with, but it doesn't mean that you're screwed. In fact, far from it. It just means that because you're a guy, you have to be a little bit more proactive and aggressive with how you build your case as you move forward. And that's what this email campaign that we're going to be sending you information is about. It's helping you make the right decisions now, especially before you've retained somebody like me, so that you have the knowledge of how the system works, and you know how to make good decisions now and how not to make bad decisions, and how to start building the facts of your case so that at the end of the day, you get a fair deal. And if you want to have lots of time with your kids, and that's the right resolution, that you're getting that. And you get a fair economic deal, because let's be real, you're about to go through a divorce, and there's no reason in God's green earth that you should be paying more money than you absolutely need to.